Alright, y'all. Let's see how today's about to go for us. As you see, I had to move the visor a little bit. I really wanted to see what the view looked like with the visor not blocking part of the windshield, and just see what we can get from there as far as the video is concerned. I probably honestly won't keep it like that long term, just temporarily. Probably even just for this clip of the video, because I don't like not having that camera there to assist me. But anywho, I did tell you guys that I'd give you an update and let you know what I ended up doing. So I did exactly what I said I knew I was going to have to do, which was I'd get there and have to creep. Then when my time came back, I just have to simply sit for the hours that I creeped. So that's what I ended up having to do. That's what I did. Now I'm on my way to my next pickup, which is probably it's only like 40 minutes down the road. And let's see what the rest of the day takes us. Okay, there we go, got green. And hopefully the rest of the day is easy peasy, and I can get more rest, because honestly, the lack of rest I got really did suck. You know, I got in about 3 something and had to get up around 8, and then it was just hectic. Like, you guys have seen that place before. How it is at the entrance and the exit, and how I was telling y'all sometimes it gets so packed up. Well, that's how it was today. It was a crap show, practically being rushed right out of the delivery spot. So you guys tell me how this angle looks. Again, this is with the hard hat on, so it's definitely not going to always be this high. Once I get that head strap for the GoPro. But yeah, once I get that strap, it will sit a lot lower. It will look a little bit more natural. There's more you guys might be able to see. I might even be able to set up to the camera where it's like a little bit more closer to my eyesight and what I see. So we'll see about that. But like I said, I just put the visor up now so I can see the difference in having it up versus having it down. What's the views like? What you know, like all that jazz. We'll just see what everything looks like, what needs to be improved on. Like as of right now, like I told y'all, I'm already sitting at my lowest I can, and you know, it looks like I'm kind of tall in the seat because of how the hard hat got it positioned. So, you know, I was kind of guesstimating. I don't know. Y'all bear with me. I'm so exhausted for the morning. Like I said, I barely got any sleep. I haven't got anything to eat or nothing. I'm just tired, and I can't even speak proper words. Like, it's something. It's something. Now, I'm upset though, because that's not the company's fault. But I did originally, they had the Leipzig, Ohio, that I told you guys they were probably going to schedule me for. That's what they originally had me for, and then Ohio canceled. Leipzig, Ohio canceled. Oh, look, another Loudon. So that part does suck for me, because like I said, those are like the easiest loads. Every time I go in, one shotgun coil, that's it. Not usually heavy. Only one time I've been there has been a heavy shotgun coil. So it's normally light coils, one light coil, and then it, you know, that one I think that was actually going to, I think South Carolina. So I didn't even bother to check what this current one's going to. Just pick it up here in Ohio. Oh, Okay, so this one's going to South Carolina. So the other one, I don't know where that one was going. Interesting. Anywho, okay, so this one's going to South Carolina and it's paying... Oh, look at that. It's paying shit. Lord have mercy. That load's paying $11.48. Now you do the math on that. That 78%. That's probably gonna bring. That 27% is probably gonna bring that up to like maybe $200 for a load. Now let me see. What's the load that I just did before that? That paid $15.50. So I don't know. Probably a little bit around. Maybe like 400. I'm doing the math totally off, so I might be way off of these numbers that I want to be. Okay, so 418 for that, which means I was correct. The other load is probably more like $190 to $200 dollar load, and that only really puts me at $600, which kind of sucks. I'll be figuring that out. Oh shit, the heat's blasted. I don't want it to be too hot here. I gotta put the heat on a little bit early because it's 36 degrees out here and it's starting to snow up here in Ohio. And so I had put it on earlier because I like to sleep in the freezing cold. I just don't like to wake up in the freezing cold. So I put it on just to like heat my body up real quick. It's probably gonna get me sick, honestly. And then I forgot to turn it back down before I started driving. For some reason, this truck doesn't like keep a consistent like run of heat. So like it'll take a long time to cool up or cool down when I'm not moving. And when I start moving and the engine starts running and everything, and all the pumps start running, is when the heat just kind of starts functioning on overdrive. So, which I know that's kind of normal for trucks and vehicles in general. It's just like sometimes I hate it. Hell, even half the time, if the engine's not doing hard work, the AC system and the heat isn't really like blowing as hard. So like it has to be like high RPM, you know, like really gaining some amount of momentum for it to really like move that engine. For it to move like the AC and power the AC and the heat through. So I don't know. Now, I know I should probably be smart. Probably should have got something to eat before I kept on pushing, because you never know. This next load, I told him to schedule it for me for 3 o'clock, because I knew that'd give me some extra time to rest, while also giving me that extra time to sit there for that time I used up this morning. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Well, actually, I think I like that one. I think that petrol right there. That's one of the ones I like. If I can remember, I think it's one that it looks like a little shopping center on the inside of it. I can't remember, man. There's so many. There's so many different types of truck stops that I've been to lately that I really do enjoy. I can't remember where all of them are. Like I'm a very much a landmark-based rememberer. I don't remember addresses or locations. I remember landmarks of where places are. So like if I went down that road and I saw certain things, I'd be able to immediately tell whether it's the one with kind of like a mall I like. And I know you guys are thinking probably like Iowa 80 or something like that, but no, this is more like a smaller mom and pop level of like mall, I guess. You know, it's real nice. It's just the food is overpriced. I went in there to get Taco Bell, and the cheesy bean and rice burrito, or just bean burrito itself, which is normally like $1.50, very rarely like $2 or above. I went in there and that shit was like $3.40 something, and I just stared at that menu, and turned myself around and left. Like that's way too pricey, and honestly, like it's way too much for no reason. So, like it's really highway robbery for truckers out here, and it's not a whole lot we can do about it. Like, yeah, we can protest and fight and whatnot, but I mean, like truckers can't really get together for nothing. Truckers have always been, they haven't been like a community in a long time. They've always fought about the smallest of things, and we can never agree to come together on one viewpoint about anything. So getting truckers to sit together and strike on the unfairness that truckers have to deal with, it's never gonna happen. Not probably in my lifetime. Maybe in the future, by the time trucks are automated or something, but not in my current lifetime. I can tell you guys that. So it's just something we kind of deal with. You know, it's one of those things where if one place is overpriced, we kind of have the freedom to go to the next one. At least that's how they see it. You know, they don't account for the fact that, you know, what if we don't have any more hours and it's the only place we can stop? And I'm gonna tell you right now, not a lot of drivers, especially right now, are making a whole lot of money. So $3 for one measly little burrito. Hell, a driver might be able to get 2, maybe 3 burritos, and that's damn near what he had maybe in his budget for what he could eat in a week. I try to keep my budget around $50 a week in food, and unfortunately with truck stops, that's not always the case. You know, there's some places where you go to, and by the time they're finished, you know, just putting in, like entering what your meal is, you know, you're running up $20 alone, and that's just for one meal. I mean, I'm pretty sure the whole reason why, while being on the road, or matter of fact, no, not even just being on the road, I'm pretty sure the whole reason why I only ever like eat one meal a day anymore is because of trucking. It got to the point where where you can only really afford like one meal a day out on the road, and I got so used to it that even when I'm home, it's like, yeah, maybe cereal if we got the milk, but very rarely am I cooking up like multiple meals in a day. The same thing with my wife, with her being on the road with me and us being like very budget, like tight. You know, very rarely are we eating more than once in a day. We just eat like one good meal, and that's about it. I think Country Pride, lucky enough, Country Prides typically, they're not super cheap, but very rarely are you going to catch a Country Pride where the prices are too drastically different, right? Like you can probably get a good steak for $15, and you know, you can probably get like a good meal for a certain set of price. Now, if I had to do that every day, it would still go above my budget, which sucks, but at least you know you get like a full filling meal, and you know, it's not this junk that they have out here in the McDonald's and Burger Kings and all that. Full meal. Well, you know, even then, sometimes I notice like I gotta be careful what I get there, because I noticed lately I might have to start bringing drinks in. I try to stay away from soda as much as I can, and like get mostly like, you know, juices and stuff, or mostly lemonades. And I'm starting to notice the Country Pride lemonades are expensive. I mean, one glass of the lemonade is like three, almost $4. And it's like at that point, I could go ahead and fill my little jug with lemonade, walk into the restaurant, technically walk back out, refill it with lemonade maybe 3 times at the register with the refills, and still only have paid the price of this little ass lemonade but using a big jug, if that makes sense. Like, it's really really is highway robbery. Let me get behind this guy because this way station's coming up. Look at that, a Rivian. Yeah, I was trying to pass this guy, but it don't make no sense. Let's see what's his speed though. Okay, so he's going 64. That's not bad. That's not bad. You got a lot of drivers out here now who, like, they play the stupid game of who's faster. So, like I'm pretty sure the reason why I was trying to pass him is because he was going slower. I can't remember. I'll look back on the video. But a lot of these guys I be trying to pass because I can see they're going slower. Like how I see it is my truck's going at 65. If I can make a stride close up to you or past you, you're going too slow. Right, like right now, if I'm behind you, without even looking over there, if I'm behind you and that's going off, you're going too slow. Because if we're going the same speed, that would never go off. Like, for example, look at that now. I'm going 64, it's not going off. The minute I start going 65, it starts to go off. What? Oh, okay. Look at that. Look at these. I always love seeing these types of trailers. Airstream. Always love those. I don't know, something about their old classic looking retro style. I love seeing those. Maybe one day I can afford one. But yeah, so that's how I know dude's going slow. And like, I'm not gonna be an a-hole. Like, I know I'm only able to really go 1 mile per hour above him. So if any truckers need to pass me or they're behind me, like, I won't hold the lane up, you know, like I'll move over real quick, let them pass, and then get back over and continue just driving and cruising, you know, like, makes no sense being a jerk off, right? But and now I kind of honestly, I lost pace with what I was talking about beforehand. That's the ADHD I be telling y'all about. Like, I'll be on a roll and then just completely forget, like lose my train of thought. That's why my wife be getting so annoyed at me, because we'll be talking on the phone, we'll be talking about something, and all of a sudden I don't know what we're talking about no more. But I'll remember eventually. Y'all just enjoy the ride. But we'll see if I got anything else to talk about. What should I be talking about? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's going to adequate speed, I wouldn't be able to pass him. I shouldn't be able to pass him right now, like, at all. But I am passing him. So clearly he's going slow enough, and that's why I'm like, you know, people like to get upset when they see truckers. They're like, oh, you know, you're only 1 mile per hour above him, but that sometimes that makes a huge difference, right? If we're going up a hill right now, I'm empty. So if we're going up a hill and I'm sitting behind him 1 mile per hour lower than I can go, but now I gotta try and see if I can merge over, because he's gonna slow down and that's gonna screw me up. Like, y'all really don't understand how, like, even that 1 mile per hour can make a difference in getting somewhere. You don't believe it? You can do the math. You can do the math. That 1 mile per hour, even 5 miles per hour, you know, that makes a difference in time. And hey, matter of fact, y'all don't even have to do the math. Y'all can test my theory. If you have this Garmin, go into your driver profile settings where you set up for your truck. Scroll down, and there's going to be a feature that asks what your truck's governed at. If you don't believe it makes a difference, put in any address and check the address at what your current speed is that you're allowed to go, and then check it 5 miles per hour below that speed. Tell me that time does not change. I know, because I was doing it for a long time. I had the speed set like, not even 5, like 2 miles per hour below the speed I could go, just so that way, you know, I kind of, in my mind, tricked myself into believing that, like, I'd be later for loads, and it had me more in a rush to get there. That's exactly what it did. You know, it would start changing the time drastically, where I had to change it back. Because I could be in, normally I would say, like, oh, I could get there for 10:30. And 10:30 might be the latest I could get somewhere. But then they would tell me, oh no, 10:40, because it has that 5 miles per hour behind. And now I'm like, yeah, that's only 10 minutes late, but that's still, that can add up. And so, like, yeah, like, if y'all a driver out there, and hell, if you're not even a truck driver, like, be patient with truckers. Like, it's, in reality, we're only ever governed because some whack jobs who don't drive trucks decided it was a smart idea to govern trucks. If you guys hate how slow trucks go on the highway, as citizens, go up to your local government and vote to have trucks ungoverned. I promise, if y'all did that, you'll see how many trucks just be right down the road. There'll be no backups. Like, I'm a personal believer in, I don't think trucks should be governed. Or not all trucks. I think it should be really based on experience. Experience, clean records. Like, you know, there's guys at my company, like my whole entire company, we're all 65, no matter how long you've been here. And it really should be based off of a seniority plus experience and a clean record type of thing. You know, if you've been driving for a certain amount of years, whether with the company or without the company, you got a clean record, I believe, yeah, you should be allowed to be ungoverned or be governed at a higher speed. Like, their logic is, oh, you know, we've had tickets with guys going above, and I'm like, first of all, we're governed at 65 when 90% of the states we go through, the speed limit is 70, 75, around those range, and some of them even 80. So, if anything, y'all putting us in a situation where we're going under the speed. Like, at least if y'all made all y'all trucks 70, that made more sense. But y'all putting us in a situation where we're always under speed, and so we're always going to have to deal with other reckless people who want to pass us. On top of that, you can still get a speeding ticket. Like, the speeding ticket is not based on the fastest speed you're going. It's not like if I was going 65 in a 25 zone, it's still reckless. It's still 15 miles above. It's still a reckless ticket. So they're not gonna be like, oh, well, because even though you were going 65 in a 25, at least you weren't going 85 in a 55, because that ticket would have been higher. It's the same cost of a ticket. The only thing that gets expensive and right to jail essentially is you going like 90 to 100 in a lot of states. That's about the only thing that's going to get you a jail sentence, essentially, if the cop is not being nice. So this whole excuse about, oh, drivers going too fast, like, I could still do that. So being governed, like, it's just, you know, it don't really have any point. I've been to a company once where I kind of like how their governing system was. It was annoying, but I like how theirs was. I'd say at least ungovern the truck and set up the system where the governed speed matches the highway speed. If the highway speed is 70, at least allow me to go 70, 75. Right? I get maybe not 80, but allow us to go 75, maybe the highest 78. Like, it should really match the speed. So that if y'all worried about speeding tickets, well, the truck will never allow a driver to go more than more than 5 miles per hour above the speed. Problem solved. Well, now I noticed with not necessarily Loudon, but P&S, who owns Loudon, currently, it's one of those things where a few drivers screw up and the whole set of umbrella companies under them gets penalized for it. And I think that's something that's definitely unfair. I think it screws with a lot of stuff. You know, like I said, now we're in a situation where we're like super backed up on certain places when it comes to our speed. And so yeah, I don't know, that's just my personal view. Like, I've been with companies who had speed limits that were like wasn't really governed. The fastest they could go was 80. You know, and I've gone those speeds and never been reckless about it. Never got any tickets. I've been to companies that were 75, 72. Never got any reckless tickets for it or nothing. So I don't know. It's one of those things. Unless you own your own truck, you can't really do nothing to change it, right? So just deal with it and keep on keeping. No, I should have checked. I didn't think to check before I started driving to see where the nearest truck stop is. And I passed a few, but I know before I make my pickup, I'll need fuel. They don't see the camera, they just see the hard hat. I look like I just got a dunce cap. Like, I look like an idiot who needs to protect myself and my truck with a hard hat. That's why I'm like excited about getting my getting the head strap, because I feel like that's gonna look less odd. I really don't give a crap how people see like what I do, right? Like I don't really care about people's opinions of me that much, but I do know it does look weird. Like, I can't blame anyone for judging when it does in fact look really weird. So, yeah. Wonder what I'm pretty sure I'm looking over to the right there. I doubt you guys can see it, but it looks like a mosque. And it's, that's the weirdest thing, because I grew up my whole entire life like living in New York City and then going different areas, and I honestly don't think I've ever seen a mosque in person. I don't know if you guys can see it. Tell me if that's what that is. Yeah, see, it says the Islamic Center of Greater Toledo. So I guess that's a mosque. Which is, it's not my religion, but it looks pretty nice from the outside. I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I've never paid attention to them, at least, or been close enough anywhere where I could see one. It's a interesting looking building. Man, I've only ever seen, I recognized it because of like TV and movies. That's the only place I've ever seen like what a mosque looks like. So that's kind of how I knew what it looked like from a distance. But like I said, it's interesting. I'm pretty sure this place does suicide coils or shotgun. So one of those two I should be getting. I don't think I'm gonna be getting stand up or palletized. I guess we'll see when we get there. But I know it's going to definitely be coils. That's for sure. It would just be nicer if it wasn't going to frickin' South Carolina for such crap pay. I mean, got paid more to come up here with less miles. Actually, I'm getting off the exit. I got paid to come up here with less miles. I'm getting paid to go back down there with more miles. And it's one of those things where it really is starting to feel like the percentage pay isn't enough for the market that we're in right now. Now, I do wish I had the option to change out of that. You know, I probably would, but I don't have that option. So I went in there, I had to deposit some cash. You guys might be off center a little bit because I changed the mountain point. So went from hard hat to regular hat. I just had some glue and a baseball cap, and I was like, you know what, let me try that. Let me try the ghetto method to mounting. And it works a little bit. I mean, it's definitely not as high as the hard hat was. And, you know, so we'll see how that works. But some of you guys probably already surmised I do dip, or what they call chew tobacco. Except I quit tobacco years ago. Want to have a healthier life for myself, so I quit smoking, and usually I vape, but vaping has gotten quite expensive lately, and chew tobacco is not. The price I pay for vape, I mean, I don't know. Technically, when you really come down to it, chew tobacco could be, I'm just gonna call it dip, because what I have is not tobacco, and I don't want that to be confused. When you think about it, dip could be just as expensive as vaping. Like, my vape liquids could usually last me a week, but the vape liquids are like $20 to $25, you know, high prices, whereas the dip is about maybe $2-3 per can. So I mean, if you factor in it, it probably comes around the same price. The difference is I can kind of find dip everywhere. I cannot find vape everywhere. Pretty much almost every truck stop except for that last one has dip. But you have to go to select places to find any type of vape liquid or anything. Now, this is not me condoning anybody smoking or telling everybody to. By golly, if you're a minor, stay away from the stuff. But it's just to add my point of view, because I know some of you guys see it. But anywho, so I just went in the store to deposit cash, because I use Cash App for not necessarily my primary bank, because I do have Capital One. It's just Capital One, it doesn't really have its own banks many places. And as a trucker, transferring money on the Cash App is much easier, especially lately, because I've had to take out a lot of advances lately. You know, small advances, $50 here, you know, stuff like that. But I also don't like carrying around cash. So what I tend to do is I'll take the cash out. So what happens is Pilot, Flying J, Petro, you know, all the gang, except for Loves. You can deposit money into Cash App, like money and checks in the Cash App from any one of those, but Love's doesn't have the system to do it yet. But I mostly fuel at Love's, so that means I mostly pull my money out at Love's because it's free. If you get above a certain amount of fuel, pulling out money is, you don't gotta pay a fee. The problem with that is now I also have to go find somewhere where I can put the money on my card. So it's a whole hoopla. So that's what I just did. I put the money on my card. Now I went to go see if they had dip. And the brand I use is a nicotine only based brand. So I went to check to see if they had it because it's a very, very, very new brand called Black Buffalo. And I went in and they didn't have it. Everybody was nice there. They tried to check for me. They didn't have it. But yeah, I checked. They didn't have it. So now I'm going in. I see a pilot up ahead. I'm going to stop there really quickly, see if they have it, and then continue my way down the road. We got a 9-hour, 17-minute drive with 7 hours and 32 minutes on ahead now. This load got to be there, I believe, for 12 tomorrow. Got to double check that. I'm pretty sure 12 tomorrow is when this load has to be there. So we have to figure out how to get enough of the way down the road so that way we can find parking for the night and then be well rested to make the rest of the way of this trip. Yep, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to be factoring all that in and trying to figure it out, see how that works. This is going to be fun. So yeah, like I was saying, first of all, I'm kind of upset because when I went in there, they didn't have the pouches. They only had long cut, which is a lot messier and annoying to deal with. But whatever. It does the job, it does the job. And created vacuums for a reason. But yeah, so like I said, now I'm figuring out how the hell I'm gonna make that time, make it work. Like the biggest part of trucking, I don't care who you work for or what you do. The biggest part about trucking is finding out, hey, what's up, Loudon? How you doing there, Loudon? I'll turn his off. So yeah, the biggest part about the truck job is figuring out where you're at and where you're gonna be, so that way you can get your load when it needs to be, if that makes sense. So I got about 7 hours 51 minutes on my clock. Or sorry, looking at that wrong. Yeah, 7:23. 7 hours 23 minutes on my clock. Swift, come on, man. Go ahead, just so you can get out of my way. Let's see, is Swift fast enough? I've never in my life met a Swift, like a fast Swift. I guess they're starting to change them up. And that's how I know I'm going too slow. Like, everybody knows in this industry that if you're going slower than Swift, you're too slow. And right now I'm going slower than Swift. And that's just wild to me. I mean, like, it's not that big of a deal. That's not one of those, like, oh, but it's just, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was a Swift guy. That was not an owner op. Or you know what it might be? I know some company trucks, I think Maverick does this. Some company trucks, they're governed at a certain speed, but they allow a passing speed for up to like an hour. So, like, if I'm governed at 65, they'll allow me an hour worth of passing speed where I can go like 68. It's the craziest thing. And that generally could explain why any Swift would be matching my speed. Them dudes always been governed at like 62, 63, and I don't think that's ever changed. And yet, have such a stellar driving record. It just proves that like the speed of the truck don't mean nothing. It's the driver. But anywho, it says I got 9 hours and 14 minutes to get there. Right now it's 7:18 Eastern time. That puts me at stopping maybe like at 11 or 12, which is still gonna screw me up. I'll be honest with you. No matter which way you put it, like I'm gonna be screwed up on my time a bit. So I'm gonna have to really figure this out. Is this guy a double? Oh, look at that. He's a B double. That's crazy. I didn't know Ohio does B doubles. See something new every day. I also didn't see him behind me because, like I said earlier, if I saw him behind me, I would have let him over. Like I'm not an idiot. You know, I tend not to do this stupid crap that's happening right now, where like we're racing each other at like a few miles per hour. Well, like as I said, dude has this little temporary speed, and he's gonna use it up till he can't use it no more. And that's just the downfall of having to be governed. How I like to say, like I'm governed alongside new drivers, and that's the part that really gets annoying. Is because like every trucker who's been out here long enough wants to get past new drivers. And here's the reason why I'm saying new drivers, because everybody knows you only go to Swift when you're new. No one with enough sense is looking to retire at Swift, unless, God forbid, they retire from life. But no one's looking to retire at Swift. So I know without a bat it's a newbie company, especially because any driver you know, with any self-respect or self-worth wouldn't want to be you know, with a company with such a low record and such a low name behind them, you know, like. And I'm not saying they're not a company to start. Speaking of the devil, another Swift. I'm not saying they're not a company for you to start out with if you need a company to start out with. I'm just saying, if you get the chance, you get like a year's experience. There's so many other companies you could go to where you're not gonna possibly get pulled into weigh stations all the time, or just deal with the crap that a lot of them deal with. Like honestly, I've always said it's a surprise to me that Swift lasts this long. But back to ignoring them. Back to what I was saying. If it's telling me right now, if I went the full way, which I don't have the hours for, but if I went the full way, I'd be stopped at 4:33, and that tells me right there I won't have enough hours to make this load, and that it might have to be rescheduled. I say this because, say I had the hours to make it all the way, well, I still would not get hours back until 2:33. This load is supposed to be delivered at 12, and so that tells me no matter what, I'm not gonna be able to make this load unless somehow, some magical way, I drop 2 hours and go on 65. I can promise you I'm not doing that. But unless some way, somehow, I drop 2 hours worth of speed, that's certainly not happening. Especially with this, what looks like snow blizzard, snowstorm coming on the ways. I hope I can make it the hell out of Ohio before it completely comes through. But yeah, because like, say if I stopped, I don't know, it's 7 o'clock now. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stop at 12, that's 5 hours from now. I'm still gonna have a 4-hour drive, right? Well, okay, so stop at 12, take my 10-hour break. That's gonna give me hours back, ironically, at 10. I still have 4 hours to drive. that's still not gonna be 12. That's still not gonna make it to 12 o'clock. And that really has nothing to do with me. It just happened to be when I got loaded. Like, I took a little break, to get food or whatever, get fuel, all of that jazz. But let me make sure I put my headlight on. It's on already. I stopped for all that stuff, but typically I don't stop out here for nonsense. Like, I really don't. It's a waste of my time. I only stop out here for stuff that I know I need. So I only stop typically for like what I need: bathroom breaks, food, a drink, things like that, and my load checks. Other than that, I try to keep from stopping because it feels very unnecessary and like a waste of time for me. So I keep it pushing. And so anytime like I'm late for anything when it comes to this company, it's just because prior schedule, that's how it was. And so chances are this is one of those, because I know sometimes that happens. Sometimes what happens is they set a schedule, but they can just reset another one for like about an hour or two later. So for example, if I didn't make it until like 2-3 o'clock, they could just change it from 12 to 2 or 3, and it'd not be a big problem. Because I know if it was like such a very strict time, they definitely would have called me and let me know that this load is a strict delivery. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. Again, not really my fault anyways, because I'm just doing I'm just doing what I can. So I feel like I just jinxed myself too. I literally just said that I want to get out of this blizzard before it hits, and no more than like 10 minutes later it starts hitting. So like, did I jinx myself? I can't even speak. Did I jinx myself? I mean, it's not hitting like crazy hard. It does nothing sticking. It's definitely not cold enough for it to get icy or snow on the roads. So I'm gonna keep up my regular pace. I ain't really worried. But still, like, look at that way. Look at the way that's coming down. Of course, always something. Matter of fact, I can't wait till Friday. Friday comes around, Thursday or Friday comes around when I'm heading home. Because I already told my wife, it seems like, thank you, sir. It seems like every time I'm headed home, something comes up. Right? I'm always able to make it home, but if I'm supposed to make it home Friday, you bet your butt. If I'm supposed to make it home Friday at 12 o'clock, you bet your butt I'm not gonna probably make it home until 8 o'clock on Friday, because something had to come up. Traffic, something. Like, I live real close to the Nashville area, and unless I'm going directly down the one highway that leads to my house, if I go anywhere towards Nashville, it's gonna set me up for failure when it comes to getting home. Every single time. I'm even noticing that lately. I don't know whose black cat I stepped in front of, whose mirror I stepped on, or broke, but it seems like I got some bad luck when it comes to getting to my deliveries and there not being issues. So there's always gonna be traffic, and it's like within the last hour. Same thing for getting home. It's always within the last hour that I'm away from home that I somehow end up screwed with getting home in time. So we'll see how this delivery works out. If that ends up happening to me again, you guys are gonna definitely know about it. That's gonna be the first thing I tell y'all. Like, hey, happen again. So but yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm learning the pace of this YouTube thing, especially like doing it how I've been doing it. Like, there's not a whole hell of a lot of views, and that's okay. I wasn't expecting much. I am not the greatest of speakers or the greatest of entertainers. I don't have the most amazing ideas. I just do what I do to make me happy and hope that there's other people out there finding happiness in it as well. You feel me? Like, I'm just a young trucker with a wife and kids out here trying my best to support them, making videos that my daughter could see one day and that my family seems to enjoy, because they can feel like they're a part of this journey with me. And you know, I love that. I love getting to make these videos for my family. And my wife, she watches them. My mother, she watches them. She always wants to know what I'm up to, especially since I really started getting back into it heavily. And so that's why a lot of times I'm just rambling on. Like, I'm not saying nothing specific about the job or specific about my life. Like, I enjoy those of you who view kind of feeling like you're part of it as well. So I don't mind talking about my life and answering any questions that might be asked about the job or, about me. But I don't know. I just entertain how I can and hope that you guys enjoy and can relate. So yeah, that's what I'm here to do. I'm gonna let you guys watch this little cruise and then catch you a little bit later. See the shit I was talking about? Dude was doing 63. For a good while. Now all of a sudden he got the speed of gods. I'm saying, like, this is why I say, like, the newbie speeds. This dude's probably on his phone, texting, doing something, and then he realizes a truck that goes the speed he goes is past him, so he puts it down. Like, how much you want to bet? Unless he takes an exit, however long he's on this road, we might both end up having to slow down because he's going to slow his speed down again. Keep in mind, he was just going 66. So if you hear this thing go off, it's not because I suddenly gained speed. Oh, you can hear that baby next to me. Either that's the wind or that's his truck. There's something else. Doing our load check now. Here's the craziest thing, right? This guy's parked like this and they're all parked down the line. Whole ass spot right here. I'm not parking for the night. But that really is the downfalls of like not enough truck parking. It's because their guys park how they feel like they need to, and then some dude moves, spot becomes available, you can't take it. What I do, I'm not doing it now because I don't need to park, but what I normally do is go all the way around and back all the way up right into that spot. I've done it multiple times before. Make sure everything's tight. It's tight. That's tight. Look at that. Perfect. Real perfect. Now we could be on our way. Actually, let me find out where the bathroom is. Ooh. Look at that. All these truckers parked with their lights on. Doesn't make sense. Crazy. I can't even imagine how many spots this one has. Let's check. So however many spots they got, it's full. Oh, 60 spots. I mean, it's not a whole lot for a rest area, but it's definitely more than you usually see at rest areas. So Gucci. Not using that shit. Rather dry my hands in the damn cold. And some of y'all know why. Like, if you know, you know. But those things are severely disgusting. Cold out here. I should have been freaking smart. Put my jacket on. I mean, it's not freezing cold. It's just a little windy, a little chilly. So probably not enough for me to get like my entire jacket and everything on. Nice little truck you got. Drive in, guys. A few guys moved up ahead. I wonder why. That's the one thing I kind of don't like about this GoPro. Battery dies a little too fast. I mean, it's not that bad. But it was just on 100%, and now it's on 92%. And the time it literally took me to go to the bathroom. This is crazy, y'all. So I'm saying, if y'all don't believe how bad it is for truckers to find parking. Look at all these guys like making parking. And this looks tight up ahead. Lord have mercy. Give myself about an hour and a half to 2 hours more of driving, and probably shut down. I didn't get much of sleep this morning, truth be told. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan for me, and that's just assuming I find somewhere wherever I end up that has parking. Might have to be like those guys. I might end up having to makeshift a spot. That's just what happens. I mean, from like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I'll say 5 to 6, most truck stop spots are already filled up. Anything after that is just a bunch of drivers makeshifting spots. If you hit like 9, 10, 12 o'clock, 11, all of them spots, they done got makeshifted all the way through. And so you'll be lucky if you can make yourself a little spot somewhere without being on the shoulder. It's one of those things that trucking people don't understand. But it happens. I don't know what to say. We're about 9 minutes away from a little mom and pop truck stop that looked like it might have had parking. I was trying to make it down to where I only had 3.5 hours left, but that lack of sleep earlier today is starting to hit, and being a great responsible driver and not wanting to put other people's lives at risk, I'm gonna make a smart enough decision to try to find a spot and stop early. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hope that this place has spots. From what I saw, like I said, some regular little I got hiccups for some reason. It's a regular old mom and pop truck stop. So I guess, we'll see when we get there, right? One thing I could hope for. One thing I could hope for when I get there is a good cell signal. I never really showed you guys, but obviously I switched from my cell service from Verizon to AT&T, and that's been better in a lot of areas. But I never showed you guys I have this T-Mobile Wi-Fi box. And normally one or the other has a good enough signal just to watch a few videos before heading to bed. I have a speed tester on my phone. So what I'll do is when I stop for the night, I'll go ahead and test the speed of my phone, see how that is, then compare it to the speed of the Wi-Fi, and whatever's better is what works for the night. Typically in a lot of areas, the T-Mobile works way better. I'll be honest with you, it's been very seldom that I've been in an area where the AT&T works better than the T-Mobile. Like, it can happen, but it's been very rare, just based on the type of device I have. Get on over. So, but it works. It does the job. You know, $50 a month for the T-Mobile device. And my phone plan for me and my wife. What's good about the T-Mobile device is it doesn't throttle down. You know, it's not matching its speeds really based off of other speeds around the area. So, you know, I could connect all of my, like, you know, if I had a TV in here, an Xbox and whatever, I could connect all those devices to this one Wi-Fi router and get constant connection. As long as I get a connection, I'm gonna get constant connection. Whereas the phone, you know, you're hooking up to hotspot, you run out of data, connections start to slow down. So I do really like this little device and how well it's been able to keep me connected to the internet. It's really good. Like I said, it's so cheap. If any of you guys know anything about like internet speeds, a lot of places with this T-Mobile internet, I've gotten anywhere from 300 to sometimes even 600 megabits per second of download speeds. Upload speeds usually a little bit lower, but download speeds pretty high, which is really good. But don't get me wrong, because of certain areas, you can get high speeds and then get the high ping, so you're not getting as fast connection to your device. Even though it's getting it to the router, it's not getting as well to your device. As the latency is just not there. So we'll see what it's going to be at tonight. I'm also thinking about moving this. I'm thinking I might take this camera system down and either put it on that side, or I don't really know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I wish there was a way I could properly mount it to like right about here, so that way I can keep the visor up. That's why, like, I be telling my wife, I don't know how these old school truckers do that, where they have that like chrome visor on the outside. Because when this is down, I can't see a dang on thing. So I don't know how they do it, you know. And like even sitting low, I have a problem. When the visor's down, even sitting low, sometimes I can't see street lights, some signs. So I don't know. I mean, it's nice looking. I just don't think it's effective. Oh, granted, my seat is a regular old seat, so with it aired all the way down, it's still gonna be higher than most of these guys, you know, custom low seats. So they probably still do see a lot better than I get to, but whatever. Let's see. Either we got lucky or we're not lucky at all. One of the two. Very mountainous-like area, though. I don't know. Anyways, let's see whether we got lucky or not for the night. Doesn't seem like that common of an area most truckers would know about, so. pickup spots are here. Big dip. Alright, maybe let's check on the other side, see what's available there. If it's nothing, we're just gonna head on. Head on off to another place. Do what some of these other guys did and just makeshift myself a little spot. Man, I don't want to be in nobody's way or nothing. Internet connection solid enough. It's the best I can find for a parking spot, so this is where I'm gonna be parking for the night. Go do my post trip and everything, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow on the next one.